In this class, we'll try to learn about liver and some of the liver function tests. The learning objectives would be to list the functions of liver, appreciate the importance of knowing hepatic physiology in learning medicine, understand the functional architecture of hepatic globule, outline the bilirubin metabolism, comprehend physiological basis of classification of jaundice, appreciate the difference in laboratory findings in different types of jaundice. Liver is an essential organ as it is the center of all metabolism and is crucial for many other vital functions of a body. Therefore, liver dysfunctions result in major abnormalities of the body. In adults, liver weighs about 1.5 kg. Liver is protected by a thin but strong capsule which is called as Gleason's capsule. The main function of the liver is bile synthesis and secretion. The bile is secreted into hepatic ducts. The hepatic ducts join to form a common hepatic duct. Bile is continuously formed and delivered to the gallbladder. The process is known as bile secretion. In gallbladder, bile is stored and concentrated and delivered via common bile duct into second part of the duodenum in response to chyme entering duodenum. The portal vein is formed by union of two veins, that is superior mesenteric vein and splenic vein. Thus the portal vein supplies the blood from the most part of the stomach and intestine as well as from spleen and pancreas. Therefore, portal blood is rich in end products of digestion, GI hormones, pancreatic hormones. However, this blood is comparatively poor in oxygen. So, the liver also receives blood from hepatic artery. Hepatic artery contains pure arterial blood which is rich in oxygen. Portal circulation is the portal vein and hepatic artery break into large number of branches. The blood of these two sets of vessels get mixed up into the sinusoids of liver, that is the blood of the portal vein and the hepatic artery. The hepatic cells receive oxygen and nutrients from sinusoids. The various substances produced by liver, products of metabolism and waste products and carbon dioxide are discharged into the sinusoids. Sinusoids drain into the central vein of the lobule. Central veins from different lobules unite to form larger veins, so which in turn join ultimately and drain into hepatic vein. The hepatic vein opens into inferior vena cava. Bile secretion by liver cells. The liver is liver cells synthesize bile, so which is first secreted to the small canaliculi. The smaller canaliculi join and ultimately form two hepatic ducts, right and left. Coming to histology, the liver is formed by a large number of lobules. Each lobule is delineated by a connective tissue sheath. The individual lobule is polygonal in shape with a central vein at the center. From the central vein, the plates of liver cells radiate like spokes of a bicycle wheel to the periphery of the lobule. So the plates are 1 cell thick and are separated by liver sinusoids. Liver cells have a capacity to regenerate. So this is a diagram showing the histology of the hepatic globules. So this is the central vein. There are radiating cords of hepatocytes from the portal vein, branch of hepatic artery, interlobular duct, and note the portal triad. So which makes of hepatic artery, portal vein, and bile duct. So this is another detailed structure showing liver lobule, which made up of central vein, where the portal triad, it is made up of portal vein, hepatic ductule, and hepatic artery. Okay, and in between the hepatic cells, you can see the sinusoids. Sinusoids and bile canaliculi. In a typical lobule between the plates of hepatic cells, the sinusoids are present that carry blood. Each sinusoid receives blood from branch of portal vein and hepatic artery of the portal tract and drains into the central vein. The wall of the sinusoids are mostly made up of endothelial cells, but at places macrophage cells called as Kupffer cells are occasionally present. Bile canaliculi run between two layers of the cells. The liver cells synthesize bile acids and transfer them into bile canaliculi. The space that lies between sinusoid and hepatocyte is called a space of Disse, that is perisinusoidal space. The space of Disse serves as a route through which hepatocytes remove certain substances from blood and discharge certain products into the blood. So this is a diagram showing one hepatic lobule, and so this is a diagram showing the canaliculi between the two hepatic layers. Okay, so in between there is a bile canaliculi. Okay, so this is a sinusoid between two hepatocytes, and so between the endothelial layer and the hepatocyte, so this space is called as space of Disse, and these are the bile canaliculi which are draining from each hepatocytes. Okay. So this is this diagram shows the canalicula of the hepatocytes in relation with sinusoids. The portal triads are typically found at the angles of liver lobules. Each portal triad consists of branch of portal vein, a branch of hepatic artery, and bile ductule. The angular space that contains portal triad and its surrounding connective tissue is called as portal canal. Portal sinusoids originating from portal veins remain in close proximity with the bile canaliculi that drain into interlobular duct. A small space between hepatocyte and portal canal is called a space of Moll. The site of origin of lymph, so this is the site of origin of lymph in liver. Okay, so this is the diagram showing the liver cell, the sinusoids, and the interlobular duct. Okay, so and in green where bile capillary network has been canalicular network has been shown. Okay, ultimately the bile drains into the interlobular duct, whereas sinusoids they're going to drain into from the blood is coming from the portal vein into the sinusoids. Functions of liver. Secretory functions. Liver forms and secretes bile into biliary tract. So it has many metabolic function. It is involved in metabolism of major nutrients such as carbohydrates, fat, proteins, and fat soluble and water soluble vitamins. Liver plays a central role in the metabolism of urea, iron, and alcohol. Synthetic function. Liver is the major organ for the synthesis of proteins that include clotting factors, acute phase proteins that mediate inflammation, hormone binding proteins, lipids, carbohydrates, vitamins, and bile acids. So storage function. It stores glucose, protein, fat, and vitamins. These nutrients are released from liver and utilized during their scarcity and are stored in the liver when they are in excess. So it has a detoxifying action. It detoxifies many chemicals. Toxins, at least from infecting organisms, are neutralized in the liver. It also causes degradation of the drugs and chemicals. Liver is the site of inactivation of many drugs. So it degrades enzymes, hormones, cytokines, and various other chemicals. It has an excretory function as well. It excretes bile, pigments, cholesterol, and some metals. In immunity, the Kupffer cells of liver are a part of a mononuclear phagocyte system, that is a reticuloendothelial system, that forms a non-specific defense of the body. These cells are phagocytosized and kill microorganisms. It has endocrine functions to serve. It converts vitamin D3 to 25-hydroxy vitamin D3, that is 25-cholecalciferol. So liver is the main site of conversion of T4 to T3. Somatomedin, that is insulin-like growth factor that mediates the important functions of growth factor, is secreted from the liver. Many hormones like insulin, glucagon, growth hormone, GI hormones, etc., they are degraded in the liver. Coming to liver function tests, uh, there are tests for the manufacture and excretion of the bile. Okay, so that includes bilirubin estimation in serum, feces, or in urine, the estimation of urobilinogen, bile acids, bromosulfalin test, and also includes estimation of serum enzymes like alkaline phosphatase, gamma glutamyl transpeptidase, transaminases, that is aminotransferases like AST and ALT, that is aspartate transaminases, and alanine transaminases. So other enzymes like 5-nucleotidase, lactate dehydrogenase, cholinesterase. So then the test for metabolic function like the amino acid and plasma protein metabolism, where you're going to estimate the serum proteins, immunoglobulins, clotting factor, and serum ammonia. Lipid and lipoprotein metabolism and carbohydrate metabolism. Immunologic tests like non-specific immunologic reaction, antibodies to specific etiologic agents, and ancillary diagnostic tests like ultrasonography, FNSE, or percutaneous liver biopsy. They're done to uh, find out the function of the liver. Okay, so here are some of the tests with their significance. So test for manufacture and excretion. So bilirubin is estimated, urobilinogen, bile acids, and bromosulfalin excretion. So bilirubin, it is increase in hepatocellular and obstructive and hemolytic disease, and also in Gilbert's disease. So bilirubin is absent in biliary obstruction. The conjugated bilirubinemia is present in patients with hepatitis. So urobilinogen, increased hepatocellular, it is increased in hepatocellular and hemolytic disease, and it is absent typically in biliary obstruction. Whereas bile salts uh, increased in serum and detectable levels in urine in cholestasis. Bromosulfalin test helps in the diagnosis of Dubin-Johnson syndrome. Okay. So, alkaline phosphatase, they are increased in hepatobiliary disease, the highest in biliary obstruction, in bone diseases, and in pregnancy. Whereas gamma glutamyl transpeptidase, uh, their rise is parallels with ALP, but is specific for hepatobiliary disease. So the AST or ALT, they are increase in the tissue injury uh, meant to the liver, as well as other tissues like myocardial infarction, whereas the ALT is increased fairly specific for the liver cell injury. So 5 nucleotidase rise parallels with alkaline phosphatase, but it is more specific for the hepatic disease. Lactate dehydrogenase is increased tumors involving in the liver. Cholinesterase is decreased in hepatocellular disease and in malnutrition. The other tests for the metabolic functions which are done are the amino acids and plasma proteins like serum proteins, uh, okay, so which are decreased in hypoalbuminemia, hepatocellular disease. Uh, so there can be hyperglobulinemia in cirrhosis and in chronic active hepatitis. So the estimation of immunoglobulin will lead to non-specific alteration in the IgA, IgG, and IgM. So that can occur in liver disease. The clotting factors, prothrombin time, uh, partial thromboplastin time is prolonged in liver disease. The serum ammonia is increased in acute fulminant hepatitis, cirrhosis, and hepatic encephalopathy. Aminoaciduria is seen in fulminant hepatitis. Okay. So lipid metabolism is also altered in the liver disease. Okay. So the blood lipids, the cholesterol, uh, and lipoproteins, they are increased in cholestasis and decreased in acute and chronic diffuse liver disease and in malnutrition. Some of the uh, immunological tests also, like smooth muscle antibody, which increased in hepatic necrosis, mitochondrial antibody in primary biliary cirrhosis, anti-nuclear antibody, and ELI cell test, which are increased in active chronic active hepatitis. So antibodies for hepatitis B, they are very specific for hepatitis B. And amoeba antibodies, they are increased in amoebic liver diseases. So other ancillary diagnostic tests like ultrasound examination, FNAC, so they are done for cholestasis of various etiologies, and FNAC is done for unknown cause for hepatocellular disease, hepatomegaly and hepatosplenomegaly. Pathophysiology of jaundice. Jaundice is a yellowish discoloration of the sclera, skin and mucous membrane due to the deposition of bilirubin. So this happens when concentration of bilirubin increases in blood. Bilirubin is the product of hemoglobin breakdown. Hemoglobin catabolism. The macrophages split hemoglobin into heme and globin. Globin is degraded into amino acids that enter the amino acid pool. Heme is catabolized by the microsomal oxygenase system to release iron, which joins the iron pool of the body. Some of the heme molecules are simultaneously oxidized to biliverdin. Then biliverdin is reduced to bilirubin by enzyme biliverdin reductase. Bilirubin, for its lipophilic nature, crosses cell membrane easily. So, however, for its water insolubility, it is transported. Bilirubin metabolism. Bilirubin is released from macrophages, enters the bloodstream where it forms a complex with albumin. Bilirubin albumin complex is split in the liver. Bilirubin enters in the liver cell and albumin stays back in the blood. In liver cells, bilirubin undergoes three-step metabolism, that is uptake, conjugation and excretion. Uptake. Bilirubin, after splitting from the albumin bilirubin complex, is transported into hepatocyte where it forms a complex with a cytoplasmic protein which is called as ligandin. The formation of bilirubin ligandin complex prevents bilirubin to return back to the blood as the complex is too big to pass through the liver cell membrane. Then there will be conjugation. Hepatocytes conjugate with bilirubin, glucuronic acid, so which takes place in the endoplasmic reticulum and involves UDP glucuronic acid and glucuronyl transferase. So this forms bilirubin glucuronide. Okay, so after destruction, so the heme gets converted into biliverdin, then into bilirubin, which is unconjugated, that is forms a complex with albumin. Okay, and which is when it is received at the hepatocyte. So initially the albumin leaves and only bilirubin enters the hepatocyte, and in the hepatocyte it combines with bilirubin monoglucuronic acid to form bilirubin monoglucuronic acid and then bilirubin diglucuronic acid. Okay, so then it is secreted into the bile canaliculi and then later into the second part of the duodenum. The bilirubin glucuronide is excreted from the hepatocyte into the biliary canaliculi. So in the fate of conjugated bilirubin, in large intestine, bilirubin is acted upon by the bacterial flora where glucuronic acid is split and bilirubin undergoes a series of reaction to form stercobilinogen. Stercobilinogen is a colorless compound, has two fates. In intestine, 80% of the stercobilinogen is oxidized to stercobilin, which is excreted in the stool. The remaining 20% of the stercobilinogen is absorbed into the portal circulation and excreted by liver into bile, and then it re-enters into the intestine. In urine, stercobilinogen is called as urobilinogen. The conjugated bilirubin is not reabsorbable, whereas its metabolic product urobilinogen is reabsorbed and enters the enterohepatic circulation. The normal bilirubin concentration in plasma is 0.8 to 0.2 to 0.8 milligrams per deciliter. The jaundice is detected clinically when the bilirubin level exceeds 2 milligrams per deciliter. So these are the difference between conjugated and unconjugated bilirubin. The normal unconjugated bilirubin is more than the conjugated. It is conjugated bilirubin is water soluble, and unconjugated has a more affinity towards the lipids. The unconjugated, they have a more affinity for albumin binding. The van der Berg reaction is direct positive for conjugated bilirubin. Renal excretion is absent for unconjugated bilirubin. It is present for conjugated bilirubin. The bilirubin albumin covalent complex formation is absent with unconjugated bilirubin. The affinity towards the brain tissue is high for unconjugated bilirubin. The types of jaundice. Clinically, jaundice is detected when bilirubin levels is more than 2 milligrams per deciliter. Bilirubin level between 0.8 to 2 milligrams is called as latent or subclinical jaundice. Jaundice first appears in sclera because bilirubin has extremely high affinity for scleral protein called as elastin. Physiologically, the causes of jaundice are divided broadly into two categories: increased production of bilirubin and decreased excretion of bilirubin. Increased production of bilirubin is increased in hemolysis. Therefore, the jaundice is called as hemolytic jaundice. So this is seen in hemolytic anemias. Decreased excretion of bilirubin. So this occurs when there will be impaired liver, so which cannot conjugate bilirubin efficiently, which is called as hepatic jaundice, or when conjugated bilirubin cannot be excreted in bile due to biliary obstruction, which is called as obstructive jaundice. Hepatic jaundice commonly occurs in viral hepatitis. Obstructive jaundice is commonly seen in gallstones or stricture of the bile duct. However, hepatic and obstructive jaundice overlap in their pathological processes. In hepatic jaundice, narrowing of the biliary canaliculi occurs very often, resulting in intrahepatic obstruction, that is stasis. So this adds to the obstructive element into the hepatic jaundice. In obstructive jaundice, biliary stasis behind the site of obstruction causes damage to the hepatocytes. So this adds to hepatocellular element to the hepatic jaundice, obstructive jaundice. Laboratory diagnosis of jaundice. Hemolytic jaundice can be diagnosed by excessive production of the bilirubin allows the liver to conjugate more than the normal quantity of bilirubin. Therefore, more quantity of bilirubin glucuronide is delivered to the intestine. Consequently, the amount of stercobilinogen formed in the intestine is increased. So this leads to increased excretion of fecal stercobilinogen and urinary urobilinogen. Bilirubinemia in plasma forms a complex with albumin, so which can't be excreted in the urine. Therefore, hemolytic jaundice is acholyuric jaundice, that is, liver function tests are usually normal. Hepatic jaundice, all three steps of bilirubin metabolism, that is uptake, conjugation, excretion, they are affected. But as mentioned earlier, the rate limiting step is excretion, and therefore that may be the most affected. Therefore, not only the conjugation of bilirubin is impaired, but also some amount of conjugated bilirubin is not excreted in bile. The conjugated bilirubin that accumulates in the liver diffuses across the cell membrane into the bloodstream. Thus, hepatic jaundice, the blood contains excess of bilirubin albumin complex, as diseased liver may not be able to conjugate all the low bilirubin. Also, conjugated bilirubin diffuses back into the bloodstream. Consequently, the conjugated bilirubin, that is bilirubin glucuronide, is excreted in the urine. So this makes urine yellow due to the presence of urinary bilirubin. Bilirubin excreted in the bile is reduced, hence fecal stercobilinogen and urinary urobilinogen are reduced. Plasma albumin may be low as diseased liver cannot synthesize the normal amount of albumin. Plasma globulins are high in liver disease because of the rise in the gamma globulin fraction. So thus albumin globulin ratio is altered. The neonatal jaundice could be due to the defective conjugation of bilirubin. Obstructive jaundice. Obstructive jaundice occurs due to the obstruction to the bile secretion into intestine. In obstructive jaundice, no bile reaches the intestine. Hence, neither bilirubin nor bile salt is present in the intestine. Therefore, no fecal stercobilinogen is formed. The stool becomes clay colored. Also, urinary urobilinogen is absent. As bile salts is reduced in intestine, there is an increased fecal excretion of fat, that is steatorrhea. The conjugated bilirubin accumulates proximal to the obstruction and is regurgitated in the liver cells into the bloodstream. Therefore, the levels of conjugated bilirubin in the blood is high. So this is excreted in urine and causes deep yellow urine. Like unconjugated bilirubin, bile salts are also regurgitated into the bloodstream and excreted in urine. Initially, liver function tests are normal, but later prolonged biliary stasis damages the liver and impairs the liver function. Vandenberg test detects whether bilirubin is conjugated or no. The test is based on the principle that excess water soluble bilirubin glucuronide gives a reddish violet color when brought in contact with diazo reagent. If the color appears immediately, the test is said to be direct positive. If the color appears late or only after addition of alcohol, the test is said to be indirect positive. In hemolytic jaundice, Vandenberg test is indirect positive. In obstructive jaundice, it is direct positive. In hepatic jaundice, the test may be biphasic, that is, an atypical color develops almost immediately. So these are the differences between three different types of jaundice: hemolytic, hepatic, obstructive. Bilirubinemia is mild in hemolytic, moderate in hepatic, severe in obstructive. Fecal stercobilinogen is increased in hemolytic, decreased in hepatic, absent in obstructive. Urinary urobilinogen is increased in hemolytic, decreased in hepatic, absent in obstructive. Urinary bilirubin is absent in hemolytic, present in hepatic, present in obstructive. Vandenberg test is indirect, biphasic, direct, respectively in hemolytic, hepatic, and obstructive jaundice. Liver function is normal in hemolytic, impaired in hepatic, may be impaired in obstructive jaundice. So this is all about liver, their function, the liver function test, and some of the applied aspects related to liver. Thank you.